All right, welcome to another episode of Fresh Fridays. I'm your host, Dr. Rick Mathis, and today we are showcasing the freshest voices in music, health, film, tech, business, and community activism, which is what we have today. Dr. Barber, man, introduce yourself to the people, man, and tell, share some of the amazing things that you've been doing in the community.
I'm the Goodwill Ambassador, Dr. Travis Barber, founder of One More Question nonprofit, brand ambassador for Impact, on the Heidi board, GCHAP board. What Heidi board is for greater health, equity, and inclusion in our community. GCHAP is Georgia prisoners receiving higher education while serving time. One More Question, nonprofit mentoring fatherless youth. I am preparing a community for returning citizens after serving their time with Impact. With One More Question, I am taking young men without fathers to etiquette dinners, retreats, fishing, golfing, home visits, grocery boxes, appearances in court as a credible messenger, Fulton County, Cobb County, and Henry Cobb, Clayton, and Fulton. I go in for misdemeanor cases for juveniles, advocate for them to get no jail time. I'm in 10 schools with leadership program, teaching about conflict resolution, core values, accountability, and I'm just doing so many things in the community, brother. I'm doing it all. We're doing it all.
I love it, man. And don't feel like you got to overtalk. We got plenty of questions to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, we got plenty of questions to ask, so you don't have to feel like you're over talking. Starting out, we're coming up on Father's Day, man. How important is it, fatherhood and to be in these kids' life? I know you see a lot of kids out here that don't have fathers, man, but how important is fatherhood to you?
Fatherhood is my spirituality. It's a religion for me. By me not having a father, I became a father to the community, the father to the state of Georgia. Fatherhood is the most honorable responsibility, gift title on earth to me. And for me, I'm hosting an event taking fathers and their children fishing on the 14th, the partnership with Greater Memorial and AT&T. We'll be doing a fishing trip in the city of South Fulton. And we want all the fathers to come out. And on September, we do an event called Son's Day for the kids without fathers to come out and be with a real man, learn some life lessons at the lake. So Father's Day and fatherhood is everything to me.
Awesome. Share with us, if you will, man, 3 to 5 principles that you live by when it comes to being a father. I know you're a father and you have principles and things that you live by. Share, at least 3 to 5 principles.
Number one is being present. You don't have to be paid. You don't have to be educated. You don't have to be informed. You just have to be there. Number one. Being accountable. Number 2. And 3, being responsible. And whatever that looks like for you, that's what the principles for me are for fatherhood, especially after getting ahead of the cart, but serving 10 years in prison and being away from my sons, coming home with $35. I can be them but present, accountable, responsible, and transparent.
Awesome. So what was the moment you knew, take us back to that fresh moment, we like to call it here on Fresh Fridays, where you knew this is the path that I need to take, the path that you're on now?
I think I knew that when the judge hit that gavel and gave me 20 years in prison. I knew at that moment that my sons were in trouble. With me being removed from the home, from the community, I knew my boys was in for a rude awakening.
So talk about how you would then go on, because you spent, 10 years in prison?
Yes, sir.
How you would then go on to parent from prison your sons?
From prison, by phone, visitation on the weekend, letters, and, financially as much as possible.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what are some of the things, like, would you would be on the phone, having conversations, like, how would you enforce it? Was it
Yes,
really
my two older boys, I would want to know the daily report. I would know what's going on in the school, weekly report, who you hanging with. I was even more involved than I was when I was there. Because when I was there, I was just funding everything, come in, kick a little bit upstairs, sleep, back out the door. Hear what you need. But when I got to prison, I became present, even though it seemed like it might have been a little too late, but it made a difference because when I got out, we still had a bond of pretty much knowing what I was about, what I stood for my oldest two boys.
And do you think it, like, how did they turn out? Do you think that it was more impactful because you had those day-to-day check-ins where you might not have had it when you was out in the street? So do you think that was more impactful, and like, what did they take away from those moments?
I think that just the accountability and me trying to still be present and me still being impactful and dependable, because I'm still doing football cliques, back to school, lunch money, sending hot wings, food, just making things happen from the inside.
Yeah, how old are your boys now?
23, 24, 29, 33.
So you got 4 boys?
Yes, sir.
Wow, okay. Do they have kids?
I have 3 grandkids.
So talk about, leaving a legacy, the importance of leaving a legacy now, and just kind of paving that road. I know you're working with a lot of young men in prisons, in the schools that are troubled. Let's really pull back the layers and share some of those moments and some of those things you really want to instill in them.
Just the sacrifice. I'm home 2 years, construction job out of town. My baby boy, first varsity, first football game, high school. I'm in South Carolina. He like, Daddy, you gonna miss my game, but I got it. Okay, son, little did he know, I already told my supervisor I'd be leaving at 12 to make that 3.5 hour drive so I can pull up right before kickoff. And pulling up right before kickoff, they just broke the banner. He come on the sideline, I called his name. I remember like yesterday. Dravus. He looked back, took a double take, and it was like, that look right there let me know the power of a present father. And I can take that moment right there to my grave. And that's something he gonna forever remember, knowing that Dad ain't got no excuses, man. He out, he free, and he gonna make it do what it do by any means necessary.
So what message would you have for fathers on this Father's Day about fatherhood?
Stop making excuses. I just left my granddaughter's graduation, man. It was every bit of 22, 23 women. And I saw about 3 dads, including myself. It broke my heart leaving that graduation, seeing 3 ladies walking up the sidewalk with their child. And a dad you can't even drive up, and these women don't walk up here. Dads, we gotta do better. I don't care what's in your pocket. Them kids want you in that seat.
What has been the most, one of the most memorable experiences that you've had since you've been out and sharing this message with, young men in the community?
I think the greatest moment for me outside of my kids is the first kid that I got out of jail time. When I stood up and told Yana, he's with me. I'm the Goodwill Ambassador, Dr. Travis Barber, credible messenger of Fulton County Courts, Goodwill Ambassador of Georgia. And I have a program. I mentor young men with our fathers. I'm in the schools, and he's one of my mentees. And I want you to just take into consideration what he did was wrong. I don't condone it, but the choices that he had was slim to none. It led to that. But nevertheless, though, let him come on with me. so I can continue to mentor him, get him on the right path. Walked out of that courtroom. He came home a couple hours later. And that man came, when I got out, when I met him, the way he hugged me, I didn't have that. So many black boys ain't got that. And for me to be that in this community, in this time, that's power. Keep your money. Give me the power.
Now share with us one of the most challenging moments that you've had working with the young people in the community.
The most challenging thing personally was coming home and not knowing how to work a mouse and can't check my sons out of school, too embarrassed to ask for help. But pushing through that to get the help that I needed so I can go up there and feel confident. That was my personal. But for us, the biggest struggle now is getting these young men to cut off that damn rap music, to look around, to Google them boys' government names and see where they live at and where their kids attend school and see how much they got invested in the stocks versus what they got invested in our community. And at that point, y'all holler no cap and who lame, they'll see the real truth. But they want to stay asleep, man, and trying to pull that pill off in the bottom of their head is the biggest challenge that I have to this day, young and old.
Powerful, powerful, man. So I know you give a lot, and you know, oftentimes when people give a lot like that, it's hard to refuel yourself or recharge yourself. Like what keeps you grounded, and how do you recharge after going out speaking and, you know, being in the community?
First, it's just the word of God. I still eat my Bible and them scriptures because everything that I'm going through and dealing with, I prayed for while I was serving that prison bed. And then after that, he brought me a virtuous woman that I can really lay my head in her lap and not worry about her trying to exploit my power, my gift, my anointing, my all. But having a good woman in your life, it refuels you, just knowing that your encourager is in the line next to you. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What's the biggest lesson you've learned since being in this line?
Ooh. The biggest lesson I've learned, the most masculine thing is a man's vulnerability and ability to speak on his emotions. And the biggest lesson of all is to stay in my lane and know that there's one me and I am needed everywhere I go.
I love it. Who do you do this for?
I do it for my soul. I was involved in a murder, and my actions played a role in causing the death of another young man. And I feel like I'm forever indebted to God to serve his people in every shape, form, and fashion. Because some things you can't wash off your hands or off your mind, and that's one. So for me to be able to come home and save lives, interrupt violence, go back into the prisons, be a beacon of light to those men sitting in that darkness, and just to open up the blinds in these young men's minds, spirits, and dreams to look further than their community, to look further than the porch or the corner. That's what I do it for.
And what does the word fresh mean to you?
Oh man, that's like renewing. It's like a second chance. It's like parole. It's like forgiveness. Fresh, new. For me.
So we really, you know, this is Fresh Friday. I'm your host, Rick Mathis, and we're really kind of pulling back the layers of Dr. Barber today, man. And we want to get into kind of the rapid fire personality segment. And the first question we have is, what song or film do you live by?
I know I've been changed. It's old. Negro spiritual. You might not know about it. It's a song.
I know that one. Come on now.
Hey, that's,
I know that.
Hey, man.
You know I know.
The angels did, but
yeah, I know I've been changed. Yeah, I know that. Come on now.
And for me, I brought these because God done changed my name. He don't change my mindset. He don't change my peers. He don't change my address. But so many of my friends and family want to keep me back in my past. And I told them I no longer live there. And with that song, that's what I live by. Like, I don't, it's over with. I'm working for God now.
I love it. I love it. Are there any dream collaborations, man? People that you want to work with, that you kind of have on your wish list?
To work with?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to work with a billionaire.
Okay, and why?
Because only thing missing in our community is the resources, the talent, the skill, the drive, the resilience. Everything is there. Only thing these kids, our community, is missing is the resources. They just closed down every last Job Corps. You know how many kids would thrive, how much crime would be curbed and halted if these kids had a plumbing degree when they came out of high school, HVAC degree, electrical degree, the money them kids would be making, and how viral that would go with all our kids getting a check for $2,500 every Friday. One facility, a change the community in 6 months.
So take us back to that moment. I'm glad you brought up that about the Job Corps. Take us back to the moment when you found out that Job Corps were being closed and how you felt.
I had just made Yahoo News hosting a job fair for ex-felons to get on-the-spot interviews with their records. And there's 17 people that showed up, just their eagerness, willingness, and presence, knowing that they're about to get an interview. More or less a job, they can get an interview with a felony. For that to go global, then to come back and hear that they're finna shut down the trades. After I just made a partnership with the IBFW, with the iron workers, the welders, it broke my heart, because so many kids were depending on that are already there. Now they are pretty much homeless, and now they're mad and angry. So I'm telling them what they finna do. They finna get ready to spin the block. Most of them thinking that there's no other options, but it is.
So you're telling me that you had just made a partnership with the largest and one of the most respected welding communities the same day that the Job Corps trade school, if you will,
2 weeks
closed.
before.
Oh, it was 2 weeks before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 2 weeks before, you had just made the news.
Yes.
With Yahoo News, and then you find out. Wow. So what solutions are you giving, the kids now, and what stories have you heard?
Well, I haven't heard any stories yet. I'm disheartened, but the solution is we got to hold on. And I think they're doing that to push the military on our kids. So now, with the choices being that slim, we got to find some apprenticeships for the men and women that do have these credentials and companies. They need to start training up our youth.
So, I hear you when you say hold on. But when you tell a young person that don't have nowhere to lay their head, don't know how they gonna eat, you know what I'm saying? How much can they really hold on?
Without knowing what's on the other side?
Yeah, like how much can they really hold on and have faith in those words?
Yeah, they gonna wish they had to listen. That's what they gonna tell me when I had to pull up on them on Wright Street. I messed up, Dr. Barber. I couldn't see it then, but now it's like, we gotta go get these jobs that don't nobody want. Until
So, what would be your plan or your
Construction.
your roadmap for them?
I would go construction. That's why I went when I came home. They in high demand of laborers, especially with ICE doing what they doing, running through all these companies, getting all the help.
Construction.
Yes. And they gonna pay you, and they gonna promote you. As long as you learning, you gonna be earning.
Yeah, we just interviewed did a shoot with Jamal Bryant, and one of the things he shared was we're gonna need 150,000 plus plumbers in the next 3 to 5 years.
We need them now. You see how many apartment buildings they building high rise?
Yeah, so
you need people building cabinets. Hey, he's doing some great work too. I would love to work with him. Pastor Jamal Bryant. He's doing some amazing work. But when you got the resources, it's plug and play.
Yeah, it's easy, man. So what's next for Dr. Barber, man?
Man, to put some jobs in these kids' hands, put some vocational vouchers in their hands, and to keep their hands off of these poles, and not the fishing poles, them sticks, them switches, that fentanyl, ooh, you name it. You name it, because our kids are fighting depression. They fighting their identity. They fighting the world.
Is there anything else you want to add that I didn't ask?
You covered a lot of ground. You asked me about the book or the documentary?
Yeah, definitely share the book and the documentary.
The book Behind the Trap with 2 P's on Amazon Prime. The documentary Amazon Prime and on Tubi.
What's the name of the documentary?
Behind the Trap with 2 P's.
Okay, both of them. Behind the Trap, the book and the documentary is Behind the Trap.
I'm working on the kids' book. It'll be out by the midsummer. I have that ready to roll for the beginning of the school year. Kids' book, Travis Can.
I love it, man. State your name and spell it, man, and tell the people how they can follow you and keep up with what you're doing.
One more question. The number 1, MOQUESTION. My name is Travis Barber, TRAVISBARBER.
All right, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.